J-O-E in the place to be. HB on the track, it's like ecstasy. Run a well of 7 years, what we drinking be. Trying to sling the dopest rhymes in the galaxy. Let me take a minute though and relax your mind. Sometimes these words can be hard to find. 24/7 on that daily grind. Hearing voices in my head, man, they not that kind. Cause bitches be bitching, snitches keep snitching. The world keeps turning, and I keep hitching a ride. Instead of living my life. Yo, 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 yo.
Man, when you feel hungry, don't you have to eat?
Yo, yo, pump up the volume and digest this beat.
Rapscallions in the house with this lyrical treat.
When we're done with you, you're gonna ice your feet.
If the world ends tomorrow and you had one chance,
Hey, yo, would you start to move like it's your last dance?
yo, do something small in the past and present changes.
Do something now, the future rearranges.
Cause bitches keep bitching.
Yo, snitches keep snitching.
The world keeps turning.
And you start living your life instead of hitching a ride. Rapscallions.
Welcome everybody, this is Rapping with Rapscallions. My name is HP2E. Next to me is Jose Gabriel Mezquita. And we are on the second week trying to get this episode, season 2, episode 10.5 launched. We're talking about medical marijuana. We've got a very special guest. We're going to bring him on in a second. Joe, how you doing, brother?
What's up, man? I'm doing all right, man. Good to be here. Happy to be here. First time that we're doing an episode where all the participants are together in the same location. That is really special, man. If that's not special, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
But it's amazing. So I'm really happy to be here. Really happy that we can be doing this. Even though it is a rainy Sunday morning in Panama, there's nothing better to do than kick back, relax, and listen to our beautiful voices as we discuss important things.
Very important things. We have lots of updates about what's going on in Panama. So you guys are going to be very interested on everything that we talk about today. We're very quickly going to do a very short Rapping with Rapscallions weekly wrap-up. If you guys have any problems with sound, let us know because we're trying something new. We're like a little mini Rapscallion studio. It's going to be a lot of fun. We've got cameras and microphones everywhere, so we don't know if the sound's good. So you got to help us out, people. Let us know what you think of the sound as it's going right now. And then, how was your week, Joe?
Yeah, man. That was a lot of words. And we also have some delicious McDonald's coffee, courtesy of our guest.
Our guest, Fufo Arnulfo Caparo, brought us coffee.
Coffee, cheers.
McDonald's, Rapscallions, hello.
Right, collaboration. So,
Hashtag.
my week. I think the thing I remember most about this week was that Panama played last Sunday against the U.S. and we won 1-0. Hooray!
Ooh.
And then we played Canada on Wednesday and we lost 4-1. Boo!
That was a tough game, man. That was a tough game to watch. And, you know, Canada, remember we were chatting. Mm-hmm. We were live tweeting each other. And I was like, hey, if Panama keeps playing this way against USA, we're going to win.
Yeah.
And then Joe checked in with me on the Canada game. He's like, what do you think? I was like, Canada's looking good, man.
They're looking good. Yes, okay, we scored first. So people were like, yeah, we're going to destroy these Canadians. No.
Yeah. Well, it didn't work out that way.
No, so I think those were the two.
It was rehearsals, full force for 1903. I'm having fun with that. And avocados. I've eaten so many avocados that if I look a little green, it's because of all those delicious avocado nutrients and maybe too much TMI, but man, I'm a little backed up, you know what I'm saying? All those avocados got me, got the old intestines. They're a little mad at me. But that's a shitty subject, so let's get on to more popular subjects.
That's right. Let's get on to more popular subjects and to our special, very special, most special guest.
Yeah.
Welcome. Here we go. There we are.
There we are.
Wow, Exito.
Success.
We've got a Rapscallion studio. We even put a plant behind you, Fufo.
Oh my God.
There you go. Look at that. That's
Thank you.
You're in nature. It's not exactly a medical cannabis, but
Always back to nature.
yeah. So
Not the Jim Carrey movie.
yeah. So you know, Arnulfo, aka Fufo, you can see his handles and everything right below him at Fufo Caparo on Instagram. Joe, where do we start, man? Comedian, stand-up comedian. He's like the foundation of stand-up comedy in Panama. Musician. Check out his grams because he does video gallos, which are comedies. This guy does everything. He's just telling us some recipes.
He's a cook as well. This guy knows everything about guns, but he doesn't like them.
That's right. Know your enemy, right?
Know your enemy.
Gotta be prepared for everything. I was a kid from the 80s, so you have to learn everything.
That's right. And today, amongst all those other things that he does, today we're going to talk about a very important subject, which is medical cannabis. He's going to, when we talk to him about this, he knows so much. So much. We're going to have a very excellent show today.
Yeah. But first, before we talk about the medical cannabis,
yes, sir.
There's a very important question that we need to ask you.
Question.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Ready. I'm Scalium now.
That's right. How was your week?
Yeah. Oh, perfect. With a lot of opportunities like job, business opportunities also. October is always like that for me. It's like disastrous for some stuff and really optimistic for other stuff. So I am looking forward to doing that. Acting, stand-up comedies coming back to the bars. Thank you. Woo, thank you. And also I'm going to be acting in a movie. French movie is going to be filmed here in Panama by Claire Denis, a famous French director.
Right.
And I'm directing also a documentary about medical cannabis, especially a strain here in Panama called Panama Red.
Right. Okay.
So it's a secret. It's a mystic plant. Everybody thinks is a fantasy, but actually it exists for like more than 200 years here in Panama, and people use it for medicine. So I'm still researching and finding new information about this miracle plant.
Right.
If we treat it like it is.
Yeah. The Panama Red.
Yeah.
How do you know? Just a question on that.
Yeah.
How do you know it's Panama Red when you see it?
Well, it had the shape of the leaves are long and really thin, and the most particular thing is the flower is full red, and no other plants in the world is red. All the plants are like red flowers, white flowers, green flowers, maybe yellow flowers, but Panama Red is full red. So that's the mystic, and that's the fascination of some biologists to find out why the color is important. Because I recently found out that the Panama Red, if you grow it in November, the flower turns out red. But if you grow in March, like more summer weather, the plant turns yellow green. So you have two different colors for one plant, and that's fascinating in science.
Funny that if you grow in November during Fiestas Patrias.
Exactly, like
red.
full rain
Very
versus.
plant.
Actually, it is. It was here since the first migration of the Pacific Asian came to the Isthmus. They brought this because the Europeans, when they came to Panama, to America, they brought a different kind of cannabis. So in Panama, we have the tendency to mix stuff like animals, plants, all along, because it's part of the exotic land we live in. And like birds from Cleveland, they fly and they nest here and they go back to Cleveland. They know the route.
Yeah.
Also the whales that comes and they get pregnant here. They have like 1 week party, woo, and they return to the Pacific North. It's weird. Panama is a magnetic. I don't know what it has, but Panama has some magnetic stuff that attracts animals and plants, and they mix all together. And you have every year new exotic plants every year, and also insects.
Right.
Like ants and cockroach. We have like more than 100 cockroach species here in Panama. It's scary.
Really?
I know it's scary.
100?
There's the white cockroach, the brown, the red.
I've never seen a white cockroach.
Yeah, and also the one that flies.
I've
That's
seen that
evolved. That's the most scary cockroach I ever
A little couple
encountered.
shout outs here. Andrew Eftimiadis, Captain Andy is
Hey, the Rodadisha family.
Eftimiadis. And then Ralphie Furlong is tuned in too. He said, "What's up, guys?" Captain Andy said, "You put a Christmas tree, a fire, and some smoke." So he's tuned in with the subject today, and he has a question. What's the difference between medical cannabis and ganja?
It's the same. Actually, different cultures use it in different ways. But right now, in the medical field, they don't recommend smoking because it's bad for your lungs, the combustion, CO2, everything. So they recommend or vaping, oil, or drops in your eyes. And now they're using balsamo, how you say, ungento,
Salve.
for the skin.
Right.
So they are evolving really fast in the medical cannabis industry. So that theory that we have, like the cannabis can make you crazy or it will make you lazy, that's pure fear propaganda from 1937. They
Yeah.
spread all over the world. So they found out recently that they can use it as medicine, and they can use it to make fabrics, houses,
Right.
everything. You name the product, and cannabis can make it.
Wow. So what is cannabis? I guess if we can start right now, just from that.
That's the Latin name of the plant, Cannabis sativa. It's the main. Even the Cannabis indica, which is a different strain, but it's derived from the sativa. It's a plant they found out in Central Asia. They use it for food and basically for medicine. And they find out later if you smoke it, it can happen some stuff.
Right.
But it has been in every culture. You name the culture, Africans, Asian, even Egyptians also have it. So it's weird. It's weird how this plant has evolved, even though they criminalize them.
Yeah.
It always stay there for people that believe and knows about it. No? But yeah, the Latin name is Cannabis sativa, and first they use it. Have you heard of hemp or cáñamo? It's like the male plant, and they use it only for fabrics and
Rope.
yeah,
Industrial.
rope, like industrial rope, with the boat industry also, because the sea, the salt of the sea, it won't corrupt the fabric. So they use it also for the military in the First and Second World War.
Okay.
So they can have better fabrics. In Vietnam War also they use it because it was a humid weather in Vietnam. So the cotton it wasn't good for them because it got heavier with the sweat.
Yeah.
Then they realized with the hemp, they can transpire better. It will dry faster also. It's a miracle. It's a miracle what they can do with this plant. And right now they are discussing the law, and in all the world they are trying to figure out how they can control this plant because it has too many benefits
It sounds
for humans,
incredible.
for animals also.
Right. I wanted to. What I wanted to do is grow hemp, and the seeds I can feed to my chickens, and the leaves I can feed to the sheep.
Everything.
And it's a
You
great
use
source
everything, yeah.
of protein, and it has beneficial fats in it.
Wow.
And then selling those eggs, I could sell that to a restaurant. Hemp eggs, right?
Hemp eggs.
Exactly. You can use it like in any industry you can imagine because you need to eat, you need to get hydrated. Also, with the seeds, a couple of years ago, I discovered this guy in Canada that has like this company called Hemp Oil, which he used the seeds to make fuel for a diesel motor. So he make a travel from, I think, Ottawa to New Jersey in a diesel car and pure hemp oil.
Incredible.
No gasoline, no diesel.
So it's a hemp-based biodiesel.
So also that's the confrontation. That's the thing they are discussing now. How this plant is gonna destroy all the previous industry, like the oil industry, the cotton industry, tobacco industry. They're gonna ruin a lot. So I think we better work together with this plant instead of taking apart. No.
It is. And the story, I mean, we were talking earlier this week, the demonization of this plant.
Yeah,
is
1937, Salinger. Yeah.
Yeah.
One question real quick from Ralphie Furlong is, does 100% THC exist?
Oh no, thank God, no. It's impossible. You can have a plant maybe 100% only THC, but it's too much. It's one of the inside the plant. There's a lot of cannabinoids. That's like a group of chemicals, and the THC is the most powerful because it goes directly to the brain, but it also goes to the rest of the body. So people say THC is bad, CBD is good. That's also wrong information. You need both. Actually, you need the full spectrum of the plant to make like a really good, decent medicine.
Yeah, for the maximum benefits.
Exactly. And so you can use all the because there's like more than 100 cannabinoids, CBD, CNB, THC.
Delta cannabinoids.
Yeah, it's a bunch of and thanks to this Israeli doctor Mashula, he discovered the THC back in the 60s, 70s, and after that, all the investigations they did to the plant corroborate this finding, because no one knew what was inside the plant, and also because it was illegal, no one was allowed to do experiment or testing. So it was a difficult period. But thanks to the 60s and the hippies, they tried to make this plant more accessible, more public, but it wasn't good because they destroy the hippies. Like, they don't shower, they eat all your fridge. So all this negative about the hippies didn't help the plan to come forward. But since the 60s, people started like getting interested, like, hey, why this plant is different? Like, it does something different to the body. And actually it's not different, because we have the same receptors, like our brain, and the plant itself has the same cannabinoid receptor. Like, if you smoke a joint, the THC, your brain will catch the THC, the CBD, if it has the CBD or CBN, and your brain know how to handle this.
Right.
It's not like other drugs, like they invade your body and your brain's like, danger, danger.
Right.
So
just to expound a little bit, like, let's say you're drinking, the way that alcohol affects your body. So alcohol will go throughout your entire body, throughout your whole blood system and your brain and your liver, and it kind of saturates your body, and that's when you get intoxicated. Whereas what Arnulfo is saying is that there's receptors in our body that certain chemicals fit in, and in our brain and in our body, it's the scientific explanation is, just think our body has a star, and then the THC has a perfect star to fit into our receptors.
like the Fisher Price cubes.
The circle peg fits in the circle in our bodies, and it's amazing to read about it. It's kind of mind-blowing.
Actually, I'm not a doctor. I'm not like a full scientist, but I'm really enthusiastic. I've done my research. Everyone is different. Like, your metabolism reacts different to the cannabis than other people, and that's why you have to visit a physician, and he has to examine you, your blood testing, everything, to know what is the best recommendation for you to have this new medicine. So it's not like you go to a store like, give me this, I want to sleep. No. You have to go to a physician and tell him or her everything you feel, and then they can recommend you a specific strain for you, maybe for your insomnia, for your lack of appetite.
Right. I mean, across the board. I think maybe we should talk. Can you explain to us how? I mean, we've talked about how hemp is so useful industrially, how THC and cannabinoids are so healthy for the body, how the receptors. How did such a miracle plant become so demonized?
Yeah.
Because, like I told you, the prior industries like cotton, tobacco, even the alcohol industry also has been affected by this plant, because they were afraid they were not going to make money. So they, in that time, 1937, they decide like, hey, let's throw this plant. Let's say people that the Mexicans and the black are gonna rape our women.
Yeah.
So they spread all this bad information, and people start like taking this plant away, even though some people knew about this plant has medicine. This plant has something. We have to make research. So no, the industry, the big industry, also the big pharma, also is like kind of
and the newspaper industry too.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you name it. All the big industry, cotton, plastic, they all were afraid of the cannabis. So that's why they repress that plant since.
Wow.
I think there was an invention with cotton to work with cotton. You have the cotton gin. And then there was the invention, I can't remember the name of the machine, but it's similar to a cotton gin, and it spreads it out so you can work industrially. And when that came out, they're like, oh my God, we've got to stop this.
Yeah.
And then,
they knew because they have the Rockefellers, all these big
Vanderbilts
names
and-
back then, they were afraid like, oh, this new plant is gonna ruin our business. I'm talking
Yeah.
like 1936,
Of course.
maybe 1937 accent. But they were afraid, and that's because of fear. We have this late discovering of this medical.
Why didn't they just kind of go with the flow and say, you know what, let's start producing
I
it
hope.
ourselves?
I really hope so, because
would've
they
been
can
better, I
make
guess,
more
right?
money.
I don't know.
It's evident. You see all the financial stats they have in Colorado. Like by 2025, they're gonna make $65 billion in earnings, not like total. And
Yeah.
so it's a big industry. You can make money. You can have everyone happy. But I don't know. Some leaders of this world doesn't want people to be that happy.
Yeah.
And it's easy to grow.
Easy to grow, easy to process. Also, you cannot corrupt it, because if you put something inside the plant, it will corrupt it. Like it doesn't work. So because there was an urban legend here in Panama that they put kerosene or gasoline in the plant, so it will make you more creepy. But that was also an urban legend. Maybe that's fake. So because if you put water to the plant or you put any other chemical, you will ruin it. It wasn't work. It's gonna be another plant, like another dead plant, as you see. So they have to be really cautious with the information and the distribution also of this. So the kids don't get intoxicated. Some elderly people also don't get intoxicated. So you have to regulate this. You have to label well and put the right the nutrition facts in every product, so people know what they are ingesting or consuming.
Yeah.
You mentioned Colorado, and that the fact that they're making so much money in the United States, that the irony that the United States has forced so many countries to make cannabis and hemp illegal.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're enjoying a medical boom,
Yeah.
helping people, but we're still behind. So maybe you could tell us about what's going on in Panama politically.
Yeah.
Well, Panama, we have dinosaurs in the government, so we have to wait for the meteorite, some
meteor?
comet,
Yeah.
some comet
Dinosaurs?
to come and destroy the
Almost,
dinosaurs,
yeah.
because Panama is rich everywhere. Like from Chiriquí to Darien, you have water, you have everything, like you name it, food, different plants. And we don't have to be poor. We don't have to suffer here in Panama because we got everything. We got so much water, we can export water, and we can live off that, like for all the Panamanians.
Yeah, we have a canal. We just
We
dump
have a
it into the
canal,
ocean.
yeah. You know how much the Panama Canal made in 2014? Like earnings, not like the gastos expanding, just earning, like profit. $14 billion.
Wow.
And they give like an extent to the Panamanian government, like take $42 million.
Wait, that's for you. Go
Yeah,
buy
for
something
you,
nice.
Yeah, I think 12% of that is supposed to go to education, but I don't think it's getting there.
What kind of education?
Yeah.
Bad education,
Yeah.
like, or bad medicine, like John Bon Jovi. But yeah, that's the thing. Is the ignorance, it's the lack of trust in new technology. It's the way of thinking with fear in Panama. Always is with fear. Be careful with the rain. Be careful with the sun. Be careful with the snake. Everything is fear in Panama. So as long as we stay thinking like that, we're not gonna be in Colorado stage or something like that. But we can do it.
Well,
With the good education, like you said, and
Yeah.
the right people informing the rest of the people, like, this is how it works. You can take it. You can decide not.
Yeah.
That's your choice. But here's a new product that can help you have a better life.
Yeah.
And
Quality of
especially
life.
for those who have like a bone or muscle pains, multiple sclerosis, and other disease.
and
I don't know.
What is it called? Where they get
Arthritis also,
Is it
Alzheimer's.
Alzheimer's,
No,
Parkinson's.
remember
Parkinson.
the little girl. Seizures.
Seizures,
It's
yeah.
like an amazing cure for seizures.
Actually, they made the first plant they made in Colorado. It was the Charlotte's Web for the girl named Charlotte, that she has a lot epilepsy. She had a lot of seizures, and these millionaire brothers, they create a plant that only has CBD, like very few THC components, and they experiment with her, and she was relieved for a couple of years, but then she passed away sadly. But they, with that case, they could improve to make a better medicine for epilepsy.
Specific for that.
Yeah, and for kids who has epilepsy, which is the worst.
Yeah.
And you can see in the face of the parents the relief, like, oh my God, today she doesn't have like a
Right.
seizure.
Wow.
Seizures.
So you see the change. I like I told you, when I was 18, I didn't drink, didn't smoke, nothing. I hate drugs. And then when I discovered that this can cure people, my mind changed completely. I start accepting, like, hey, this is a new wave. We can work it out. Don't treat it like it's a miracle. It's gonna save us all from everything. But we can work it out.
Well, tell us a little more about your own personal experience with medical cannabis.
Well, actually, I was born with a fibrom in my column, L5 specific, and I couldn't do anything because I was in constant pain. I couldn't play basketball, which is my passion. I always wanted to be in the NBA.
Yeah.
And when the doctor told me, like, you cannot go to the NBA, I was
Oh,
crying
no.
like for 4 years. I'm still crying because I want to meet Michael Jordan. You know, Michael Jordan is a hero for the 90s kids. You know,
the GOAT.
Hey, you can still make it to the NBA. We
I
believe
guess
in you.
as a coach, maybe to scream in the balconies. I don't know,
At the very minimum, a cheerleader.
That's right.
something. I had-
Something.
And then that was a really hit for me. Like, I cannot play basketball. I was in constant pain. And then in 1998, a fellow musician gave me Panama Red. Hey, I found out some Panama Red. I was, hey, I'm not gonna smoke that. That will ruin your brain. That will ruin your creativity. I was full of fear. So that's the information I was throwing.
Yeah.
And then the first day I tried, I could sense everything. I could see everything perfectly. My mind settled down, my back pains slowed, and I was amazed. I started researching. There was no information here in Panama. So I still keep finding books like from 1970s, 1960s, and I started researching and found out that Panama Red is from Panama. It's a mysterious plant that was brought from by the Pacific Asian migration, and it stayed in the Pacific coast for a lot of years. And they start like I told you, in Panama, all the plants evolved and became exotic. So the Panama Red is like an exotic plant, as a biologist told me recently. It's an exotic plant because it came as a form and it evolved with flowers in another form. And then thank God I could travel to California also to search more about it, and I found out that these people were advanced like millions of years of using this as a medicine for actually back pains and any kind of pain. And then I became really enthusiastic and to really like spread the word, like, hey, you can try this, don't smoke it, but you can try in other ways, maybe to relieve your mental issues or your physical issues. And I've seen the results in other people. I have a friend that couldn't walk, couldn't do anything, and I help her in some way. And she right now, she can walk. She's doing Pilates. She's a different person. And every time I see her, I get really excited. Like, there's a hope. There's a hope that this can work. No, if we treat it properly with the medicine and with the science facts, we can do a better world.
Absolutely. I mean, for me, the most striking thing is reading about children that have these seizures. You know, have 2 a day, and maybe have 3 episodes a week, and I mean that's just so destructive to the body. And
For
it's
the
like
family,
and it's like a miracle cure. It stops it.
Yeah.
And then another thing I read about, which was super interesting to me, is pain management. Like in your case, you know, most people are given opioid type Vicodin or something like that to control pain.
Yeah.
Eventually, it's going to ruin your liver.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
you have the opioid crisis. People is dying like every day.
Yeah.
And become addict. So,
Become
it's-
addict.
Yeah.
but the weird addict, like the one that can kill for getting that medicine. So
Right.
we don't that. We don't want that. The big pharma also, I don't think they want that. But they are if they keep with this cycle of killing people,
Yeah.
it's gonna ruin everything for them.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So you have something like opioids that will not only affect your mood and everything, but will damage your liver until you get to the point where you can't control your pain.
Yeah.
Whereas when you try medical marijuana, it actually heals the liver. It's an incredible anti-inflammatory, and when used as pain management, it works great. Like in your case, you know, you felt
I can play basketball again. Not in the NBA.
NBA.
NBA someday.
we're gonna do our own version of Space Jam.
That's right.
I hated the second move, but that's another subject. Actually, I was talking to a doctor, an oncologist, and we made the conclusion that if you are under therapy, like chemotherapy, you can mix with cannabis. Like, it's not like you're gonna leave the chemio apart. No, you can mix cannabis because a lot of patients in that has chemotherapy, they got nauseous and lack of appetite is common.
Yeah.
And thanks to cannabis, they can eat normally. They can start eating again, and they don't feel so much dizziness or so much nausea. So they can help. That's my theory. Like my conclusion is like big pharma and cannabis, they can work together to make something even ultra superior better.
Right.
I mean, that would make sense. And I guess so then we saw the whole demonization of cannabis and everything in the early 30s and 40s around there. When do you think that the shift that there started to be a shift towards a more positive way to look at cannabis? Because then in the 60s it was with the hippies, right? The hippies and then
they
people were
started.
like,
Actually, they started the beatnik movement. You know, these poetry guys who were rebel. The folk singers also.
Yeah.
So the jazz movement also, the blues, the new rock and rollers also. It was a big movement. People using this to even for medicine or for creativity. They will start spreading the word in the 60s, at the end of the 60s.
Right.
Then on the 70s, it was also kind of popular in the movie industry and also in the music business. But then, you know, the cocaine and the heroin start getting in and ruin everything for the cannabis, because they start like, hey, you're cannabis, you're with these people, and they put it in the same group, and it was all ruined.
This was also during the whole war on drugs thing in the U.S., right?
Which is useless because the drug won the war.
Yeah.
And in the 80s, you know, the cocaine and the heroin took control over everything, even the artists we admire, the actors we followed, they corrupt everything. So in the 90s, there was a second big bang of the cannabis with the Clinton administration, when the new liberal movement, and we start seeing new stuff. Like we start, actually in 1994, Snoop Dogg, with the help of lawyers and doctors, he could go to court and the court accept, like, okay, Snoop can smoke, Snoop can use this for medicine, and then there start all this revolution. Also thanks to Arnold Schwarzenegger, the mayor, the governor. He was the governor of California, and he also passed the sign, and so the people can use this medicine. So you see how this film music industry also like take the second big bang of the medical cannabis to help these people, because right now you see more calm people. I remember in the 80s, the streets, people were nuts. Like the military, we live here in Panama, they were almost all in cocaine. They were driving this Mercedes-Benz car and cocaine with the uniform, like, and that created like a scary society.
Yeah.
And with cannabis is the opposite. You get calm, you can talk, you can laugh a lot. Right. You can make perfect love.
Perfect love.
Versus cocaine, you get, let's work, let's make a bridge love today, let's make a road. And
sell.
Yeah, sell, let's make more money. Yeah. So they are different drugs. Actually, the plant, la coca, the plant is good. Yeah, it's good for your lungs and for other blood streaming difficulties you have. Also for breathing in higher altitudes. Yeah. So it's a good plant, but it's a bad drug what they made chemically.
I think whenever we concentrate something too much, that's when, you know, everything in extreme is bad for you. So
exactly.
The coca plant is
actually very that's healthy. Answering your question is like a second boom in the 90s. First boom was in the 60s, late 60s, and then in the mid 90s start this new revolution. And now we have everything. We have people like dispensaries in Los Angeles. And people start evolving. They know more about plant. They know more about the flowers also. So that's good. The good information has to be spread. So people have
For a while ago, I was working on blood banks, and I spoke to someone from the World Health Organization, and they told me, you know, the Seguro Social in Panama, for what it tries to do, is actually doing pretty good compared to other countries in the world. And then they told me something I've never forgotten: is the one negative effect of having free healthcare is that you create a society who is accustomed to taking pills. Like aquí in Panama, if you get a cold, they're like, tomaste algo. Did you take something? Did you go to the doctor? You take a pill.
Yeah.
So, you know, the irony of having a natural remedy that is vilified, but because we're all accustomed to going to the seguro and getting our pills, that's perfectly acceptable. You know, so I'm glad that you're here to try and help dispel some of
Thank you.
some of the information or the misinformation we're having. Where are we in Panama? What's
the deal with us right now?
Actually, I have to say a hello to La Doctora Erika Stahl, Carlos Hosa, and Luri Higuera, they are kind of the leaders of this movement that, thanks to them, since 2017, they made the proposal to the assembly, and thank God, right now we have the law. The law is 153, and the president already signed it. Now we have to wait the regulators, MINSA, MIDA, Contraloría, and all these people to regulate, hopefully with the right people, so we can have a really good product maybe to export in the future, and people can come to this country like as a medical tourism, and they can taste the Panama Red or other strains to make a better living for these people who suffer from pain and other issues. And right now we are waiting for that. It's already passed the assembly. It's already signed by Nito Cortizo, which is weird. It's a miracle because in the community we didn't expect that it was going to be that fast. But thank God it happens, and that means a lot. That means we are evolving. Not fast, but we're evolving.
So the president signed it. I can go to the pharmacy right now and buy some.
No, we have to wait to the regulators. To maybe the MINSA is gonna determine. You're gonna do the lab test. This doctor is gonna be the one that give you the recipe, la receta,
the prescription.
Prescription, sorry. And we have to wait for that because that's the most important thing. That maybe the MIDA is gonna control the crops and the farms. Like they don't use pesticide or corrupt pesticides. They have to check all that to maybe you can go in the future to a dispensary and ask for the medicine. But yeah, we have advanced a lot in that legal matter, and we're waiting for the best, like for the MINSA. And
I know it's hard to calculate, but in your mind, how long do you think this regulatory period is going to last?
I think next year they're going to have something, because there's a lot of companies that already are doing this like 10 years ago, and they are prepared for this. They are doing it in, you name the state in the United States.
And
also
in South America too, right?
Yeah, Uruguay was the first, actually, the country, then Canada, Mexico right now, recently in September.
Argentina?
Argentina also. There's a lot of countries like getting into this. Chile.
So
it's wonderful.
We don't have to reinvent the wheel. We can look for other governments and see their studies.
Yeah, we can apply, I think, something. Okay.
And hopefully we won't reinvent the wheel, because we have a tendency in Panama to reinvent the wheel when things are generally
I think the battery is...
Uh-oh. All right, well, you're still live. I'll work on this while we can keep talking.
we have to wait. We have to wait for the regulators, which are the most important right now, because they're going to be the law. They're going to be the ones who control this plant, and also it's going to control the taxes, the companies that they follow the steps, the discipline. And it's going to be a tough work, tough job, because you need honest people. You need honest doctors.
Of course.
You need public service honesty also. They have to be all together in this, because if you are thinking like in money, if you're thinking making a lot of money with this industry, then you're in the wrong path. You have to first think how to make this work, and really work like the best way, because if you only thinking in money, you're gonna get stuck.
Yeah.
because this plant can do a lot.
And you're
for
kind of
the-
missing the picture too. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
quality of life, and then also industrial wise, it's super beneficial.
Yeah.
So right now, that's what we're waiting.
And there are already companies in Panama that have expressed an interest in.
There's a lot of companies from United States and from Europe, also Canada. They are waiting. They are waiting for the government to select the people who's gonna take charge of this, and then they can apply. It's gonna be 7 licenses, and they're not gonna use all. I think maybe they can start with 3 companies, but the top is 7. And each company has to take care of everything, since farming to testing and packaging, distribution.
So this is going to be one of those things where, let's say HB has a farm, so he'll grow some at his farm and he'll set it on the side of the road, like, hey guys,
No,
cannabis is legal
no.
for my farm.
I hope so. I hope so. We can get independent farmers, independent lab tests. But right now they're doing this way, maybe to have a better control.
Right. Okay.
So they can blame that company did that or HB did that. They cannot follow HB.
No, they can't.
So I hope so. You know, the law can change every year.
Yeah.
You can apply for different changes to make this law even better in the future. But yeah, we need the people right now. They cannot grow and start like giving out.
Like
Hopefully, the big companies that are gonna get the license, they can hire maybe independent farmers, like certified
yes.
independent farmers.
Of course, yeah.
Farmers. So maybe in the future it is possible, but right now we're waiting for the control people.
Yeah. And someone was telling me the other day, they said that right now, so once it goes into production, that has to be sent to the US so that it can be FDA approved and then sent back to Panama. Is that how does that work? Is that
Well, I
true?
don't know if they have to send it, like a bunch of it.
Yeah.
They can have like a
sample?
Yeah, they can send a sample, or they can send a specialist here to test here,
Right.
With the lab here, so they don't have to travel too much. But yeah, the FDA, you know, they are the owner of medicine, so Food Drugs Administration, it's a really tough company or a service.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have to check all the controls. I think MINSA is going to be the main control because it's going to be a medicine first. You need the MIDA, el Ministerio de Desarrollo Agropecuario, to see if they grow properly the plant and they treat the plant well. The water they use, what's the name?
Fertilizer?
Fertilizer. Then what's it? The compost? Yeah,
Compost.
They use like natural ingredients also. So they have to find out everything. You need like the people who are really experienced. They're gonna teach, like the new doctors and the new farmers. They're gonna teach them how to do this properly and the best way possible. And hopefully we got so good quality that we can tell the world, hey, we have this for you. So it's gonna be a tough. The signing of the law and the passing in the assembly was the easy cake, maybe. But right now, the tough job is to control it, to verify everything is legal, everything is legit, science facts. You know, it's gonna be a tough job. But hopefully, yeah, we can have the good doctors and
Arnulfo,
farmers.
you wear many hats.
Many
Can
hats.
you put your legal hat on?
My legal hat.
Yeah, I mean, in your opinion, having read all this stuff, would you have written the law differently? What are things that you think might need tweaking or in the future? Or if we had a time machine, what would you have changed in the law?
I will change more Panamanian participation, maybe, for people who has grown in the past and has the experience. We can learn from them. We need to do a lot of testing in the plant and test the people who's going to consume this medicine, because you don't know what they have been consuming before. So they maybe have damage because of the prior medicine they consume, and you need to clean that body in some way to maybe introduce this new medicine, because you don't know how they're going to react.
Right.
So we need a lot of data, science facts about people and consuming, because you don't know how they're going to affect, because there are people that never have consumed cannabis in their lives. So it's going to be a shock. and you need the doctors to prepare this patient to accept this new medicine. In the law, maybe trying to focus on the patients more than the industry or the money or anything else. You have to focus on the patient because they are the ones who's going to consume it like every month.
Yeah.
So you need to know the specific dose, also the proper nutrition, because if you're going to consume this medicine, which is potent, if you have like a muscular or a bone issue, you need to eat well. So it doesn't work if you're consuming the good medicine, but you're not eating well. So
Right.
you have to balance that. And you have to tell the people that if you're going to use this medicine, you have to have a good life. You have to do exercise. You have to keep your mind in good shape, and also psychology is going to be a part of this. Not only like doctors, internal medicine. We need doctors, neurosurgeons. We need psychologists, psychiatrists. We need everyone. We need to make this plan really work better.
We have a question from Carina Weber. She asks, why only 7 licenses?
Well, that's another thing that they gonna try to change with the years. At the beginning, it was 3, so that was tough.
Oh wow, yeah.
So that now that we changed to 7, that gives hopes to Panamanian companies that want to invest also, because I have sensed a really enthusiastic motivation in the Panamanian community. So that's good, and we have to let everyone participate. Everyone legit and legal. We have to let them participate in this new era of medical cannabis.
So even though I'm a rapscallion, famscallion, really love, but you know, the Asamblea Nacional, you know, am I being a little overreactive when I think
No, it's perfect.
That
It's
someone from the Asamblea made a deal for themselves? Am I overreacting? How do you?
It's possible. Everything is possible. I hope not. It doesn't go that way. But thank God we have Carlos, Erika, and Luis, people who are watching, who are also in the law, watching that everything is going legal and in the right way. So as long as we have people around this assembly, or I don't think they're gonna like take advantage of. Of course, it's gonna be like some money interest in the business, but as long as we have this activism, worry about the patients more than the profits, I think we're in a good way.
Yeah.
I think that's an interesting story. Like to have private citizens be able to monitor and influence so much. Can you tell us a little bit more about their history and how they?
Well, actually, they start in 2017, and they propose with the help of lawyers. Also, Adolfo Linares also was part of this movement, and because he used to work in the government back at the end of the 90s, I think, and he knows the law, and he knows how to protect also the patients that doesn't get like scammed with products and everything. So it's gonna be everyone participation is the best, and thanks to Carlos, Erika, and Luis, the activism they did is perfect, because they let the people know the information, they update people where are we now with the law, and that create a trust between patient and the activism. So I really thank to these 3-4 people. They stay, and they never quit. They stayed 2017. That's almost 5 years waiting for the law to pass. So that perseverance and resistance is what we need now, and I really applaud that to them.
Yeah, they could at any moment they could have been like, you know what, this is too difficult. You know, let's just drop it because we don't see any movement. But they stuck with it. It made it happen. That's really remarkable.
Yeah, and well, like you said, the fear of profiting and with the government and everything, that's normal. That can happen.
I mean, it's something that we've grown accustomed to. I think in the past, we always see something like this happen, and we're like, "Come on, man!" Again.
Yeah, actually, there's a urban legend that the Pfizer took a plant from Darien, and thanks to that plant, they made Viagra. So, but it's not registered or anything. It was like an urban legend. I don't know. I hope it's a fake, because if it wasn't, I really feel like bad that they took us one of our plants and made a great medicine.
Yeah.
But that's we hope, like we have so much plants here in Panama, and even the biology says like we have a lot of medicine plants here besides cannabis. We got romero, rosemary, we got basil, menta, hierbabuena. It's a lot of plants here.
You know, the curanderos from the
Exactly,
interior.
and that's the first doctor we had before medicine came to history. So we have to check everything, and we have to accept everyone to come and work together. Because if we take this individual, like only like certain people is going to treat this, then we're doing it wrong. You have to include everyone in this participation because we need the feedback of patients and doctors.
Interesting. So well, let's plug the rapscallions real quick, and then I'm going to segue over to you. Rapscallions. We're here every Sunday. PanamaRP.com. You can press donate button if you want to buy some T-shirts. We have that stuff there. And also, if you're interested in Arnulfo's documentary and you want to donate something to that documentary, you can do it there too. See if you want to help us there. So tell us, Arnulfo, tell us about your journey and your dream of completing the documentary.
Oh yeah, like I told you, in 1998, I started this fascination and this intrigue subject with the cannabis, and I didn't tell anyone. I didn't tell my parents because I think this is my own secret. This is my own journey to find out what is about this plant that makes me feel good and I don't feel pain. So I started researching, and then in 2001, right in the 9/11 collapse of the towers, I was in Italy, and I discovered the doctor Meshula from Israel, and then I see other field like, wow, this guy is working since the 60s in this plant, and he find out that it's beneficial for medical purpose. And then I start researching documentaries, and I decide, you know what? I'm fascinated with this plant. Panama Red is a medical plant. Actually, if you find out in all the websites that talk about medical cannabis, you always hear people say about Panama Red, oh, it's magical. Oh, they have some different properties, different from other plants. And I was intrigued, like, why this plant is different from other plants? And there's very few information about this plant. And I try to figure out like where I can get information. You got information in Amsterdam, also in California. So I travel all these years. I went to California in 2015 and 17. Besides doing comedy, which is the thing I love, I also researched about the cannabis and medical cannabis. And every time I found something new, it gave me like more hope that this can be like, hey, this can be a new stuff, like can help people to deal with mental issues, which is a really like underappreciated, I don't know, underrated situation, because no one wants to express themselves like they are crazy or they are struggling with their thoughts or minds. And actually, cannabis can help you deal with this to balance your emotion, to balance maybe your paranoia or your anxiety. It can help you a lot, but you like I told you need a physician to examine you, and he decide which strain is better for your pain or your suffering. So I decide, you know what, I have to make this documentary. I'm gonna focus in Panama Red because it's the one plant that we have here in Panama, and there's a lot of urban legends like they use it in 2 movies in the 70s. Actually, Jerry Garcia from Grateful Dead also inspired by this plant. He made a song. He participated with the band who made this song, but it was a secret. It was like a secret. In Vietnam, they used it for the soldiers to release the trauma of the pain they suffered there. So they use it a lot, but in a secret way. So I'm gonna touch in documentary. I'm gonna touch all those points, the good information, also the pros and contras. So I'm finishing the first episode because I'm gonna divide it in many episodes because there's a lot of information, and I need to put everything in. Like the Sonians, the Americans that live here also have a lot of stories with Panama Red. The Panamanian militaries in the 70s and the 80s also have experience because they sent to burn all the fields, not once, but a lot of time, and they kill people also because it was interfering with the cocaine and heroin business.
Oh, wow. Right.
And you know that can cause a little bit of tension.
Yeah.
And then right now, where are we right now with this plant? Because I remember back then in 1998, I used to get that plant in La Cinco de Mayo, wrapping in newspaper. So it was bad quality, but it was Panama Red.
So it was easy, very easy to find.
Yeah, it was easy because people was still growing it secretly, but really small amounts. And all of a sudden it disappeared. And that disappearing makes me more want to finish this documentary, because is this plant a fictional issue or is this plant for real?
Yeah.
And if it's for real, I want to see if inside we can extract medicine from it.
Yeah.
I hope, my dream is to make this plant free for all the Panamanians who need this medicine.
Yeah.
Or are really like low price so they can access to this medicine and not get busted by the commercial.
Yeah.
Like, if you want cannabis, you have to pay a lot of money. No, that's not my dream. My dream is give the people who needs it, and let's see how it works, how they react to this plant. So right now we're finishing the first episode, and hopefully we can next year finish the rest of the episodes.
So right now, currently, then, where can you find Panama Red?
It's a mystery. You cannot find it, actually. You can find it in Chiriquí, in Darien.
Random spots.
Yeah.
Be like, oh, look, Panama Red.
Because, it actually has evolved because some Europeans and Americans, they are enthusiastic also with the plant, and they have mixed the plant. So right now, Panama Red can be Panama Amsterdam Red, so Panama Mexican Red. Actually, the Colombians tried to mix it with Colombian Gold, which is their own strain, and it doesn't mix well. Yeah, it's something happened, but it's not the primary Panama Red, like the mother of the Cannabis sativa.
How, like you mentioned a little bit earlier about how the physical, or the, you know, when you see it, it's different. Or like the leaves are different, right?
Yeah, the leaves are long, thin, and
So it's not the same as when we think of a pot T-shirt with a pot leaf on it.
No, yeah. Every country or every area has a different. Yeah, the indica, the leaves are more fat. Yeah, fat, and also the sativa always has long leaves, and the flower is different also. And with Panama Red, that's why they give the name, because the first time they saw this plant, it has red flowers, versus the OG from California, which is kind of orange, or the Amsterdam, which is more white. But Panama has the only strain that has red. Not even Hawaii, which is a similar strain, like maybe purple red, but not in Panama. Panama is full red. And as I told you before, if you grow in November, it's going to be red. And if you grow it in March, it's going to be yellow. So that's the beauty of Panama. You can have the same bird with different colors.
Yeah.
So, because that's what they do in Panama. They mix stuff. Have you seen it? Like the migration? Like my grandfather, it's Cuban, and my grandmother is from Colombia. And they met here in Panama, and they create something new.
Yeah.
And it's the same with plants and animals. They come here to Panama. Hey, something happened here, bloop, and something evolved.
Yeah.
Actually, a professor in college told me that Panama, back then with the Mayas and the Incas and all the other aborigines, they used to get together here in Panama to exchange information about how they do some ceramics, or how they work the gold. But it was a secret society of artists that came here. They don't fight, because the Incas and the Mayas, or Aztecas, they hate each other in some way. But in Panama, they leave the anger apart,
Right.
and they come together. So Panama is like that. Panama is a place. You'd see the Canal de Panama. All the boats come here.
Yeah.
They need Panama in some way to make the ship more faster, and that's what Panama is. Panama is like a big bowl of mixture, and some exotic thing will rise. I have another scientist friend that was studying the ants, and he discovered that in Panama every year is a new kind of ants. They evolve every year. So imagine this guy, this scientist. Okay, we have 100. Wait, another species. We have to reenact all his studies because Panama never stopped. You have like 50 different kind of bananas here.
Yeah.
So it's weird how you can mix up and make a new creations here in Panama. You can start all over again here in Panama. Like many other foreign people say, like, my life changed here in Panama. Thank you. That's what happened here. You change.
It's the Chagres water, the
That's
special
Chagres, El Valle, the volcano from El Valle, everything. And the two seas. Like you always, my fear when I was a kid is like the Atlantic and the Pacific will mix again and they will erase us. Too much television, I think, too much movies.
Oh my God, that's a fear.
But we have that blessing. Like we have both seas.
Yeah.
Cuddly us.
That's
every day.
That's right. So I wanted to ask you now, because we talked a lot about, you were mentioning how when you have access to cannabis and everything, it's good that you have it, that you're seen by a physician and you have your prescription and all those things. And we talked a lot about the positive aspects of medicinal cannabis. Are there any negative aspects?
Of course, a lot of negative, because it's a powerful medicine.
Yeah.
You have to know your dose.
Right.
In some way of speaking. It can, if you take too much THC, you can ruin your brain or your mental capacity. Also, if you take too much CBD, more than 500 milligrams, you can also have seizures or anxiety, because you are abusing of the dosage. Yeah. Also, in the lab test, I hope to God that change soon. If you only take CBD, you think that you're gonna be like showing your lab test, your blood test, and it shows. So you have to be careful. If you're working in a place that you cannot consume cannabis, you have to respect that, because they can fire you or they can do anything to you. So that's the most important thing. Once you have the medicine, how are you going to consume that? Yeah. How many times a day? How many drops you're going to have also? And like I told you, if you consume this medicine, you have got good nutrition and good exercise, or physical exercise, and mental exercise also. Yeah. So that you create a perfect circle. Right. So that's a big con, as a matter of saying, because everyone thinks, oh, cannabis, we're gonna be all happy here and celebrating. No, it's a powerful medicine. Yeah. People hasn't died yet of it, like overdose cannabis. That doesn't happen. But you can have, like they call pálida, or maybe dizziness, and you start like sweating and feel tachycardia, I say, heartbeat.
Fast
heartbeating. So you got to be careful with that. It's not for everyone. If you decide not to take this medicine, it's okay. You're not a weirdo or anything. It's your decision. It's an available option you have there for if you want to try it. So, because the negative of it is to pretend it's going to solve all the problems. Yeah. So we have to take care of that information and spread good information about it. Yeah. But yeah, it's like any other medicine. If you abuse it, you get down.
Yeah. You'll suffer the consequences.
Yeah.
Definitely.
We have a comment here going back to what you said about Panama and its biodiversity. No la minería. Panama ecologic systems are too important to be destroyed. You're here.
I support that. I don't want any drilling here. We are a small country. Seriously. We are a virgin country. We only have like 3 million years here. Yeah. We didn't exist back then. So if you take advantage of that, I don't know. I don't accept that, because we can make so much money in other ways. Like I told you, exporting water and making the Panama Canal more expensive also. We can make money in even the banana, the chiquita, the bananas they have in Chiriquí. It's the only sweet banana you can find in all America. I've tasted banana from El Salvador. I've tasted banana from Colombia. Nothing compares with the Panama banana. Also, the pineapple is from Panama. So
look at that.
We have a lot.
So many things.
So many things. We have a lot of things. We have beautiful girls. We have beautiful boys.
That's right.
We have actually one of the best math and physics students winning all the prizes. So we have a lot of things in Panama to export and to sell if you want to make money. But the mining that's like too old school. Like I understand back then, like we were in a war. We need more steel. We need more copper. Right now we don't need that much. We can recycle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It doesn't seem
I'm
to me-
against.
yeah.
I'm against the mining. Yeah.
And somehow the public isn't benefiting from it. It's from minimal.
Yeah. I don't,
You know, the interests that are there are making all the money, and then the natural resources of the Panamanians not only being destroyed, but we're not reaping any benefits.
We
from it.
are. I think we are the richest country in
I agree
in
with
America. Well, besides Canada, Mexico, and United States, Latin America, we can be like the best, but we are afraid.
But we have something.
We're on
that
the
no other
blacklist of
country
the
has.
banks.
yeah.
We're so full of fears that we're not gonna advance if we're still thinking with those fears.
Yeah.
We can make this Panama is so rich. Only with the Panama Canal we can make everyone like, you don't have food, take this
Yeah.
free food, because there's a lot of food. I've seen how they throw in the garbage, in the restaurants, foods
Yeah.
every day
Yeah.
that you can use to compose to make plants, natural fertilizing. We can use everything, even the wood. In Panama, you can cut a tree, and right away it's gonna be one tree growing inside that cut tree. So we don't.
That's what my dad said. That's how he planted the lemon trees. Is when he was done with his rum and coke.
Yeah.
He threw the ice and the lemon rind out in the yard, and the next day there was a lemon tree.
Actually,
That's the legend of Santa
that's
Clara.
typical here in Panama, because I've seen other countries. You chop the trees, and that's the desert
That's it,
right away.
yeah.
Even in the desert we have in Sarigua, there's plants growing again.
Right.
So even in the worst scenario here in Panama, we are growing things. We have water under the ground, like pozos, and we have everything. We are rich. There actually in Panama, no one has to be poor. No one.
Right, I
Even
agree.
the less smart people in Panama can have like some money in some way, because there is for everyone.
Yeah.
But that's another thinking. Other governments, other ways.
So, those are important topics, but let's veer back to medical marijuana. What are some of the different ways that someone could ingest? Because everyone thinks about smoking. A lot
Yeah.
of people don't like smoke.
Yeah.
There's several ways to ingest.
Actually, smoke is not recommended. It's the classical way, because when you burn the oil in the flower, it will react right away, and your lungs are connected with your brain and the blood, and it's faster, the reaction, versus eating as an edible, whether it's a capsule or a gummy bear, or the oils. You can also have the oils sublingual, and drops in your eyes, also in your ears. Also, you can have drops.
Oh, wow.
And asthma, the
inhaler.
the inhaler, you can have also an inhaler. But some people love to smoke. They can replace that with a vaporizer, with a vape.
What's the difference between smoking and vaping?
Yeah.
Vape is just heat. It doesn't burn. Doesn't make combustion. Versus
So you're not burning it. You're just
heat, the vapor.
the vapor. The THC is vaporizing.
Yeah.
So it
And-
takes it to a certain temperature where it vaporizes, but lower than the temperature of burning.
Exactly.
But then,
You can get hurt also with the vape. If you inhale too much vape, you can collapse your lungs, because
wow.
the lungs can't handle too much vapor or heat in some way.
so then the vape, how is that? The inhaler doesn't have, the vapor has heat.
Yeah,
An inhaler
a
doesn't.
temperature, like a top temperature, so the flower won't burn,
Okay.
but it will throw some vapors.
Okay.
Because it has oil. The flower has oil, or like when you cut the plant, or when you cut the flower, you have 1 year that the plant will throw that oil, never
Right.
stop.
Okay.
So you always have that in a flower. You can save that for 1 year, and you can still have a good flower to make medicines or to vape.
And then the inhaler.
The
when you
inhaler
inhale it, how does
is
it-
it's like a
Atomized, I think.
it's doing like if you're doing like a medicine, like
Okay.
an oil. You have to a tincture also. So people that don't like any of those, you can use a tincture in your drink, in your juice, on your coffee, and you can have some drops, and then you can
Oh, that's
use your medicine. Yeah, they are. Every time they're also using patch also, band-aids also. You name the product, they are working on it,
Wow.
because they want to make this easy for everyone who really needs this.
Yeah.
because back then we only knew like smoking. That was the only.
Right.
And also in India, when they have the plant already flowered, with the hands they clap the plant, so they get all the hashish, as they know, the natural hashish, and they can make that also natural extraction of the plant without cutting or burning. So you extract all the oil in your hands, and then you save it in a like sphere or a really bowl, and then you can keep the plant growing without damaging it.
Oh wow.
Interesting.
So there's a lot, and there's also when you use the flower and you cut it like in the grinder, she will drop some powder, a green powder they call keef. That's also you can use as medicine. So you have the plant, you have the leaves, you have the stems, you have the flower, you have the seeds, you have the oil.
You said the stem.
You have the oil, and you have seven ways to extract this plant to make medicine. So tell me one plant you can do right now with that you won't find anything.
And then whatever's left over, you can feed to your sheep, and then make a shirt.
Make a shirt.
You can use it forever. You, like I told you, I dare all the listeners on the comments to tell me one product. Like, can you make a car? Yeah, we can make a car. We can make plastic. Yeah. We can make a wood comprimido de madera. I say wood.
A compressed wood, like fiberboard.
Yeah, fiberboard. You can make fiberboard also.
And I saw that they're using spun like insulation. They spin it and make. We think of like fiberglass, that pink stuff that goes in the roof. You can make that out of hemp, and it's fireproof, termite-proof, soundproof.
Wow.
And also, we live near the sea. It's also salitre proof.
It's resistant to salt air.
And the moist. Here in Panama, you know, the fungus doesn't attack very well.
So because of all these selfish people, in the 30s and 40s that just didn't want to see this.
Exactly.
We lost out on decades of research that could have gone on.
They repressed the Elvis Presley or plants and medicine. Because, you know, they tried to repress Elvis Presley with the sexy dancing. And they won't show his feats on television. So they tried to repress everything back then. Even though they came from the Second World War, you come with like open mind. Okay, we're free. We're going to do new stuff. No, they were back to the dinosaur mentality. So.
Now tell us a little bit more about the U.S. military application, because when we spoke before, you told about how, I don't want to talk for you, how Panama was instrumental for these different wars with regard to cannabis and hemp.
Yeah, because, well, I have the information, but it's not like a really verified information. But I have received it from different sources, and it feels like it can be possible. The American military, in a secret project, they weren't allowed to grow hemp in the States because it was illegal. So they used Panama because they are in control of Panama, and they could grow this hemp, a lot of hemp, easily, and they could have, because Panama has a lot of water and only 2 seasons, they can grow 4 times. They can harvest 4 times versus other countries like 1 harvest per year. So they took advantage of Panama, and they start growing this in every part of Panama, like Pacific coast, north, south, you name it. And then when the Panamanian military took control, they cut this, they burned this, and also the Americans, they weren't interested in growing this hemp. So the farmers here in Panama, they stay with the recipe as a way of speaking, and they keep growing it like for their own purpose, also to survive. But there's thanks to the American militaries, we have some Panama Red still alive, because if it wasn't for the Panamanian military, it was none. It was all burned. Cut. Yeah, burned. Wow. Because I think it was a kind of represalia, a revenge from the Panamanian militaries to the Americans. You're not gonna grow this in my land.
Right.
So they cut it without knowing what they used it for.
Right.
So they move another country. I don't know where they keep growing it, but they knew that in Panama we had the Panama Red, and they take advantage of that. So, like I told you, they send it to Vietnam for the trauma of the military. for the fabrics of the military uniforms also, and they use it for the tent also, the camps.
The tents, yeah.
And I think they also grew. They has to be. I bet a lot of my life on it. They has to be in the Vietnam, Panama Red, and all the places they have a war. Like they need that. So that's a mystery. I'm still researching. I haven't found like militaries, American militaries from that era that can explain me. Yeah, that was true because it was a secret project. There's no like information or papers. Maybe the CIA or the FBI has something like in secret file it, but as soon as they can release that, maybe we can find out where and when they grow here in Panama.
Yeah. We've got a nice audience out there, so I just want to reach out and tell the fam scallions if you have any questions for Fufo, put it in the comments and we'll talk about it.
Yeah, you can access also to my Instagram, Fufo Caparo. I also do comedy. I am an actor also, and I'm a profound activist from cannabis, medicinal cannabis. Also, if you have any question, you can write me in the direct message.
DM.
That DM sounds, DM sounds too porno to me. DM me.
DM.
Like everything gets corrupt.
For a private chat with Fufo Caparo, DM him.
So if you want to know more about the law, you can also access to Gaceta Oficial for free. Here in Panama, you can access and you can find out about the 153 law. I don't know how to say the
law 153.
153, the law 153. You can know everything about it right now in the Gaceta Oficial. And if you have any more questions, you can attack my friend or attack me with questions. And will be more than a pleasure to answer you.
So I have a question.
Yes.
It's a very important question. So if you go to Los Angeles, right, you can get like gummy bears and stuff that have
everything,
CBD in them.
Chocolate. Yeah.
So say I bring some back with me to Panama in my suitcase.
Okay.
Can I be arrested for international drug trafficking?
Yes. You can be arrested in United States, which is worse, and you can be arrested getting in Panama also. You have both.
Even though this law has now been passed.
Exactly, because the law doesn't allow
recreational.
or to export or to take out from the country.
Right.
So if you're doing it illegally. Some people has to do it because they have their kids, or they have someone who needs the medicine and they have to do it illegally. Hopefully that will change with the law, that you can import medicine from other countries without the fear of being in jail or being illegal.
I remember, so I was in Chicago recently, and I think over there it's legal, isn't it?
It's legal inside.
Inside.
Yeah.
And when we were in the airport heading out, there was a box in the airport, and it had like a marijuana leaf on it, and they said, I think it wasn't like they were asking you to put your marijuana in there or anything like that, but it was just kind of like,
if you have it,
like leave it here.
Yeah, leave it here
like
before.
That.
Yeah,
but they weren't like, "Hey man, I got you." But they were just
that's an advance. That's evolving, because in other days if you throw it to the garbage, also you got like in jail. Now they have this special box, like, hey, you know what? If you carry some, leave it here.
Right. Here's a responsible place to dispose of your medical marijuana.
It's just to have a control of it, because as soon as you let people have a disorder with this, it will be chaos. So they are trying to maintain an order with that. But hopefully in the future you can import and export.
Wow.
With the proper licensing, of course.
Yeah. So you can't just be like, I'm going to buy some gummy bears to take back to Panama.
You can take the risk, but it's not recommendable.
No. And you don't want to go to jail here. Anywhere, actually.
No, anywhere, Anywhere.
Jail is bad.
Awful.
Ladies and gentlemen.
It's awful.
So, just to compare with other Latin American countries, are you aware of any studies maybe where, because the war on drugs, we've been told so many horrible things. Is there any evidence that there's going to be increase of crime or anything like that?
Yeah.
Actually, there's statistics about kids doing drugs. As soon as it becomes legal, the kids don't consume it more, because you have to go to a dispensary or to a doctor to get the medicine.
Right.
And kids won't do that.
Yeah.
And also that the black market will disappear completely, or almost completely, which is a good thing. You don't have to be waiting for someone, like you don't know where this medicine come from.
Right.
So that helps a lot to maintain the control. Also in London, you have a good lab testing. Also in Mississippi, actually, the University of Mississippi was one of the, I think, is the only university. Even though it was illegal, they were still studying the plants, everything from the streets, from other countries. They tested in that university, and that was good because that's an important data they have. Because it was illegal, they cannot share that information. But now that it's legal, they can share that information with other universities and other lab tests. So the information right now says that it's good. The legalization is good because you keep the control and you maintain the quality also of the medicines, which is the most important thing, and you control who is consuming and how much, which is important because I think there's a limit for each person to consume each month. So they are dealing with that also. There's gonna be cases like kids eating gummy bears, because that's the more important thing. In the package, you have to label. You have to label right. So when the parents has the medicine, they cannot leave it like in the table. They need like a special place to save it so the kids don't get it. Like a gun. If you have a gun in your house, you're not gonna leave it like in another place. You're gonna keep it in a safe place. So your kids won't play with it. And it's going to be the same with this medicine. You have to keep it really safe in a proper place, so it cannot cause any damage to second people. But yeah, it has a lot of pros and cons. But we have to always focus on the good stuff, so the bad stuff can disappear. But yeah, it's a difficult. Right now we're like in the middle of the thing. I hope we are in the finish line, but we are a little bit too far from that line.
Right. So just to go over the law 153 passed second debate. The president signed it.
October 13th.
Yeah, sorry.
October 13th.
October 13th of this month. So maybe it's better that our show last week got delayed.
It was a 10. 3 days before.
So according to your calculations, there's going to be probably a year or a year and a half of regulatory investigation, and then we can start bringing in medical marijuana from overseas. And then after 5 years,
3 or 5 years, depending on the growing.
Okay. And then that's when medical cannabis can be produced locally.
Exactly. Hopefully.
Hopefully. So there's steps within the law. All right.
And we have to respect that because that's part of the new company, as a way of speaking. And we have to trust the medicine, we have to trust the science, we have to trust the doctors and the laws, also the lawyers who are working with it, and also the people who is in jail because of possession. They're going to be released, or they're going to take that file out of
decriminalization. Are there anything in the current law regarding decriminalization?
No, I haven't read that yet, but it's going to be soon, because as soon as it's legal, all those people interact with the new law.
So
but yeah,
I think when we talked to Adolfo, he said that it's something like 40% of the female and male crimes, something like that, were petty misdemeanors of marijuana, right?
It's so pity. Like recently in Singapore, they're gonna hang a guy like for having 1 kilogram, I think. And in other country, they're gonna put 25 years in jail for this guy only for raping. So it's weird. It's weird. Some countries, they are still with the fear mentality, and also they don't want anyone to make profit of it illegally. So they have to work as soon as the world work together in becoming this legal. I think everyone's going to change. All the countries will follow, because if you don't follow the new rule, you're going to be out.
What's the situation like here? Like if you get caught with possession, what's the jail?
It changed. There's I think 2 grams is the
you can have it on you.
The minimum.
Okay.
Because they changed that, because before that it was just possession.
Right. Okay.
If you have only like a leaf, they can give you anything amount of. It was stupid, but it has changed with the years, and right now I don't know actually how it is, but you You cannot smoke in public also, or near schools. Just like the same laws as alcohol.
Right.
I think they're gonna apply it to cannabis.
Yeah, it makes sense, I guess.
Because, like I told you, it's a strong medicine.
Yeah.
Actually, it can be stronger than alcohol if you
Yeah.
abuse it. Because alcohol, you know, when you're drunk, you pass out.
Yeah.
But with cannabis, you can keep, and you don't know when you're gonna fall out.
Yeah.
Because some people are more tolerant to this medicine than the others. There are
Right.
some people that only need a few, and they are perfect. There are other people that needs more, like the anesthesia. When you go into surgery, some people like need more
Yeah.
anesthesia because
Yeah.
they consume that, and they start feeling pain again.
Yeah.
So it's the same with that medicine. You have to control the right dose for each individual.
We have a question from Carina Weber. Do you have any idea on prices to purchase at dispensary?
Here in Panama, no, because we first need to have the companies to settle this first with the Contraloría maybe, or Ministerio de Economía y Finanzas, which are the one going to tax these new companies. But in the United States, there's from the minimal amount can be like $30 to $60 to the top, which is I think an ounce or near an ounce is the top that you can carry or you can buy in the dispensaries, and you can get that like maybe $300, $400 top. So the prices will vary a lot, depend on the people consuming, also the demand and the production they have in the country also. Because if you have small production, maybe the prices will go up, and that's why it's good that we have like 7 licenses here in Panama, so we can have a different quality and prices of
Variety.
medicine.
Competition.
What are dispensaries like? Are they like pharmacies, or are they
Yeah, similar.
like
That
coffee
you
shops,
enter,
or-
you give your your ID, and then you give the prescription to the dispensary guy, which is always like happy for you. Welcome to, happy to see you.
Happy to see dispensary.
Yeah, welcome back any soon. And they see the prescription, and they will select the strain you need in the amounts that the doctor recommend, like 1 gram of this, maybe 3 point of this. It depends of the situation of the patient. So they will give you in a bag, and you can carry with you, and no police, no one can touch you, unless you start selling it. If you sell it, then you became illegal. Because you don't have the license to sell it, to grow it, to test it, to investigate. So you're just the patient, you're just the consumer. You cannot consume it in public also. No parks, near school, driving also. If you're going to operate machinery, heavy machinery also. It's the law is strict.
So this is how it is in the U.S. right now in certain states.
Yeah. Well, in Los Angeles, which is where I studied 2 years there, the situation, and I mean, there's still people doing it illegally, no?
Yeah.
They get used to that. They don't want the government involved in their issues, but I think it's better if you are a patient. It's better that you have registered as a patient, because if you need this medicine in the future, it can save your life, or it can save your mind also.
Yeah.
Because if you have like a medicine to heal you, you're gonna use it to see what happens. If it doesn't help you, then you change. You find other medicines.
Yeah.
Because that's the good thing about this world. You have options. You have variety of stuff. So yeah, that's the prices and the laws are very specific. Like when you're dealing with cannabis.
Right.
When can I grow hemp at my finca?
As soon as they give you a license to grow.
So I can't grow it industrially in Panama?
Right now, no. Maybe you're gonna have to wait maybe 2 years, 3 years, maybe. And maybe in those 3 years you can get like more smart about it, and you can grow hydroponic. Maybe that's all other techniques they use, not in land, but you can use water to grow also. Air, people using air also to grow.
Wow.
Because there are certain altitude, there's air with water, and they take that to make hydroponic plants also.
Wow.
Incredible. I want to read, we were sharing in the chat group, going back to the demonization of hemp. There was a Time magazine publication, 1927, and it said William Randolph Hearst's newspaper empire fuels a tabloid journalism propaganda campaign against marijuana, Articles with headlines such as "Marijuana makes fiends of boys in 30 days," "Hashish goads users to bloodlust," "Create terror of the killer weed from Mexico." Through his relentless misinformation campaign, Hearst is credited with bringing the word marijuana into the English language. In addition to fueling racist attitudes towards Hispanics, Hearst papers run articles about marijuana-crazed Negroes raping white women and playing voodoo jazz music. Driven insane by marijuana, these blacks, according to accounts in Hearst's own newspapers, dared to step on white men's shadows, look white people directly in the eye for more than 3 seconds, and even laugh out loud at white people for shame.
Oh my goodness.
The decision of the United States Congress to pass the Marijuana Tax Act of 1937 was based on hearings, reports, those are footnotes there. In 1936, the Federal Bureau of Narcotics noticed an increase of reports of people smoking marijuana, which further increased in 1937. The Bureau drafted a legislative plan for Congress seeking a new law, and the head of the FBN, Harry J. Anslinger, ran a campaign against marijuana. A part of the testimony derived from articles in newspapers owned by William Randolph Hearst, who had significant financial interest in the timber industry, which manufactured his newspapers.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Anslinger is somehow related to Hearst. He's like married to his niece or something like that. So it was like this guy using his newspaper vilified it.
Wow.
And then he had a relationship in the Bureau of Narcotics, which made it illegal. And now we are where we are, trying to get it legalized again.
Yeah.
Actually, they were going to make a lot of paper with hemp, and they say no. We have timber. We have other woods. They rather chop all the trees than use this plant can grow again.
So how long does it take for a plant to
depends, 4 months, 6 months, 8 months, maybe a full year to have a full flower.
And
plant.
there's compared to timber, there's a better use of per hectare, something like there's a density per hectare, right? Do you know those figures? Or
Not exactly, but actually you can regrow faster than if you cut a tree that takes 15 years. You can, in 1 year, you can have a new crop. Here in Panama, like I told you before, you can have 4 crops here.
Wow.
And also it was funny because right after that, in the 50s, at the end of the 50s, they made Reefer Madness. It was a movie, also putting more fear about the plant, and it was stupid. Right now it's funny to see those. You know who else was in the industry opposing cannabis? The coffee. The coffee industry, which I love, and I don't drink coffee anymore because some in pandemic things, I kind of reject coffee. I don't know why, but sometimes I drink my coffee. I love the smell. But the coffee was introduced in the companies so the workers can be more efficient. And they invent the coffee break, actually, to make people work 40 hours instead of 12.
Wow.
So the coffee also was part of the cotton and tobacco and alcohol industry that were opposing to cannabis. Like, no, we're not going to let them be part of the industry. I don't know why. They should embrace them.
Yeah.
The world would be different back then if we embraced the cannabis. And like I told you, right now we have a lot of medicine plants besides cannabis. The coca is a medicine plant. Rosemary, like I told you, hierbabuena. So we use it in the food. Actually, if you heard like Dr. Shial Immunobombas, have you heard like he used garlic, he used onion, he used
oregano.
That's a medicine we used back then when we didn't have doctors. So I use everything. I use the vaccine. I use the immunobombs.
Yeah.
I use everything I can.
Curcuma is popular now.
Curcuma also.
Turmeric.
It's ginger also.
Yeah.
And I use it because it was interesting. In the pandemic, there was a report that cannabis, because it was introduced in your lungs, it will protect you. The endocannabinoids, it will protect you from the virus and will make the virus dumb.
Like less
reproductive, yeah.
Oh, wow.
So that's like uncertain study because we don't have the facts, like paper facts.
Right.
But they were in magazines, in newspaper, they were talking about it. And actually, people were saying, "Yeah, I've been smoking. I never got, I never got the virus. Like, you don't got the virus, but you had a lot of coughing. Okay, so don't mess with that.
You got some
It was
tar in
just
your
a theory that they throw in the media.
Yeah.
And actually, you can make medicine to protect your lungs with, like I told you, with the inhaler.
Yeah.
You can protect your lungs also for the virus. But that's medicine, and some doctors are still opposed to using cannabis as a medicine. But hopefully, they will change their minds.
Yeah.
Interesting. So
Yeah.
I keep thinking about like, is there a difference between dangers of smoking a marijuana joint and a cigarette, or is there like a similar
Like a nicotine tobacco cigarette?
right,
Oh,
like
yeah,
tar
definitely.
and stuff like that? What
Yeah, it has a lot of plomo. How do you say plomo?
Lead.
You have lead inside, arsenic,
That's for tobacco.
tobacco, and versus cannabis, you only have like the oil of the plant, and maybe the combustion you use for the fire, and the paper you use for making the joint. Also, it can give you like a cough and maybe some phlegm, some respiratory difficulties also. But like I say, the physicians doesn't recommend smoking
Right.
in any way. So actually, the tobacco has changed a lot, because tobacco, when I was a kid, because in my house my dad smoked tobacco like all the time. He's from Cuba, so that's normal, like the house smell tobacco. And I get fascinated. I love the smell of the tobacco, and I tried once when I was a kid and knocked me down. Like I was vomiting, I was everything. And then I realized right now that the cigarettes we have right now, they are candies compared to the poison they have like 20, 30 years ago. So the tobacco industry itself, they have evolved, creating less harm in tobacco. But it's ridiculous, because it's already harming you.
Yeah.
The nicotine is not bad. The nicotine, it will help you, like the coffee, the caffeine, it will get you through the day. No? Nicotine also can get you through the day. If you have to study at night, if you're in college and studying, nicotine can help
Right,
you.
it's a stimulant.
But smoking the nicotine is not good.
Right.
You could do it like a capsule of nicotine or medicine, like
Chewing gum.
yeah, chewing gum
they have
also
those
can help you.
Caps too, right?
It depends. It depends on the people organism.
I have another interesting question from Carina Weber. She asks, will cannabis plantations help pollinators like bees and other insects?
Of course, they love it. Bees love to get in touch with that oil that is above the flowers, and they put it. They can help other plants to feminize the other plants.
What does that mean, feminize?
You have the male plant that has the seeds, and you have the female that's only flower. Sometimes the male throws some seeds and
Launches it over there.
and they can create like a mix.
Yeah.
So that the farmers always try to separate the female from the male plants for safety.
I think you're already on this train of thought, but the follow-up to that question, and what about cross-pollination? Is that a problem? How do you keep
There's a
Panama
lot of
red
bugs.
pure?
There's a lot of bugs. You can use like natural fertilization, natural pesticides like coffee. Actually, you can use coffee and tobacco also. You can use it to stay the bugs away from the plants. But there's like recognized, it's like 4 bugs. Like they go directly to the cannabis plant.
Okay.
There's a white bug. There's
The aphids.
yeah, there are like 4 different. They have identify. Sorry, but yeah, actually, the animals can eat it like in one.
Iguanas.
Yeah,
I heard
cats,
iguanas eat the
cats
eat the
and
buds.
dogs. They love to eat it also. Maybe because the flavor. I don't know. But if your animals take that, they will like sleep for 3 days. They will be sleeping. So
Can you grow Panama red next to another strain and it won't cross pollinate, or how does that
no,
work?
you have to do it manually. You have to mix the both plants growing, and then you insert híbrido. I say you can make any.
Hybridize?
Sometimes it doesn't match. Sometimes it goes with it. Like I told you before, and in the United States they tried to mix Panama red with the others, and kind of did it, but not
It's interesting.
the regular one.
Because I know if you grow hot peppers, you can't keep it close to like your sweet peppers.
Yeah.
Because
Oh, the same hat. You can ruin your crops by putting male and female together in the cannabis.
How interesting.
Yeah, because they are life. They need water. They need sun. Sometimes after 4 months, 6 months, they need dark. a lot of darkness, so the flower can grow. And you have to sing to the plant. You have to talk to the plant, like, "Hey, I love you. I'm gonna put some Frank Sinatra. Today's Sunday, so listen." So the plant loved the music, and they did a test in a school, in a high school in Denver or in Oklahoma. I don't remember, but they did a test with 2 plants. This plant, you will tell beautiful things like "Good morning, I love you," and the other plant, "I hate you." And the evidence is like in less than a month. The bad plant were dead already, and the good plant like, "Wait, keep cheering up." So the plant they listen. The plant listen and feel. I think I'm not a hippie. I'm not like a hugger tree. Look, I don't know. But I love that. I have touched a tree. I have to say thank you for giving me oxygen.
Yeah.
And I understand that because they have feelings, not the same human feelings, but they have plants feelings.
I agree with 100%.
And I've seen it. If I don't put water to my plants, she will die.
Yeah.
She will hate me like, "You give me."
Yeah.
And when I give her love and put
you
music,
seen that? Like, there's Panama inherited from China where you put a little bamboo by the door.
oh yeah,
And then that's to measure negative energy. Like if someone comes into your house that has bad intentions, that plant is supposed to
and
tell
it
you.
changed color also. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
But yeah, I think if you're connect with nature, not in the ridiculous way, but if you connect with nature and you understand nature and the cycles of nature, you're gonna live perfectly in this planet.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, you're gonna struggle. You're gonna struggle with fear. You're gonna struggle with
Anxiety.
money and greed and all these bad feelings. That because you're not connected with nature, you don't understand the rain. You don't understand the moon, why the moon is like that.
Yeah. I like to say, like, we put pieces of plastic on our feet, pay $100 to put a piece of plastic on our feet and think that we're somehow disconnected from Earth.
Yeah.
We're not. We're the same. We're made of the same stuff.
That's right.
So yeah, that's the situation right now with the cannabis here in Panama. Hopefully, we can get regulators soon, so they can give the license to the proper companies. Hopefully, they are good companies.
Yeah. And hopefully everything stays nice and honest and transparent and
Yeah, transparent, honest.
Yeah.
Two important words.
Yes. 100%.
Thank you for inviting me into this beautiful rapscallion situation.
Yeah, we had some nice questions here. If you're still out there and you still have some questions for Fufo, we have 15 minutes left.
Yeah.
So now it's time to have fun. We were all so serious, talking about serious
Subject.
Yeah.
getting good information. Now it's time to relax a little bit and talk a little bit about more fun things.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to learn about how you got into stand-up comedy.
Okay. I was a fan since I was a kid. I grew up with Benny Hill. I grew up with George Carlin. I grew with Saturday Night Live, Monty Python. And then when I was in high school, I make everyone laugh. Like even when I was depressed, I was making people laugh.
What?
So I was like, there's something wrong with me. Then
Thanks. Something right.
Yeah, there's
something
something right with you.
I want to find something right about this wrong. Yeah. And then all of a sudden in 2013, I asked Poti, I know Poti from the Videos Gallos. I asked him if we and Pedro Gaicedo and I can do like stand-up comedy in the bar. And he says like, people is going to come? You think people's going to like it? Like, I don't know. Let's try. Let's test.
Yeah.
And the first show we made in October 2013. People love it. Like they didn't know how to deal with this. And we started doing more shows. And then I became like, hey, we're writing. We have a lot of jokes, right? So you became this machine of creating jokes. And that's 2013 was like the blessing day as a way of speaking. Because we knew other comedians. We find out other American comedians also. But yeah, basically in my house, it started all my house with illegal cable TV. And also my dad is like the most sarcastic. He will cheer, like if you're happy in a moment, he will always find something black to tell you like if you win the lottery or something like, don't spend all your money. I know you're gonna spend all your money. Oh my God, it's ruined the moment.
It's like, let me enjoy this.
Yeah, so I learned that sarcasm from him. Also, my mom is a good singer and she's like a religious person, so I took that also as a funny. So that mixture of a sarcastic dad with a religious mother create like the best mixture of comedy for me. So
We
it
have
helps a
another
lot.
question. We mentioned our website, but asking you directly, how can people support or donate for your documentary?
Well, you can DM me. You can write to my Instagram, and I will give you the proper information. Actually, I'm receiving everything you can donate, because I'm really focusing on recording well with good equipment, the best production, and the best editor, which is one thing I really looking forward, because I could do this like by myself with my iPhone, and I can edit it myself, but it's not going to be the quality I'm looking for. So for the quality I want, and for the export, because I want to show this documentary in other countries, I need like a good quality of investment. So anything you can help me with it, I'll be more than grateful to accept it. And also I put you in the credits, so you're gonna be famous.
You can
Yeah.
be famous. You can
Hey,
you can help Panama Red.
You said you had the first episode almost done, right?
Yeah, the first episode, because I was going to do one documentary, like 1 hour and 25 minutes documentary. Then I realized, you know what? I have too much information, and not only that, I also have constant new information coming in. So if I do one documentary, then I have to do like another. So I better split it in
So
mini
it's like a
episodes.
docu-series.
Yeah, docu-series. So
very
it's better, and also better for Netflix, because Netflix loves the episodes.
They do.
And I wish they could buy it at the end. I don't know. We're going to pray for that. But if not, we're going to put it in YouTube, and maybe some movie theaters here in Panama that want to project that also.
Yeah.
And to make available for all the people that want this information, to want to know about this plant, this mysterious plant, this exotic plant, and also to know about the law and the situation with the medical cannabis.
Very cool.
Very cool. So, getting back to some of your various talents, you talk about music. What do you do in the music arena?
Oh, well, I started 1997 recording narrators and doing for radio, and then I became a musician by mistake, because I was learning
that
from a
happen?
lot.
Yeah.
I didn't knew anything about music. I knew how to sing, I knew melodies, but I didn't knew anything about notes or reading. Then I became really interested, and I have a band right now, rock and roll band, Rison. We have almost 3 albums. Right now we're recording the 3rd album. And it's the music that fit me in the 90s, like grunge, Soundgarden, classical like Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin. So I did a mixture of all that, and I create this new music that it's so organic that the music is, I don't control it anymore. Because when you are the composer, you think you own the piece. But as soon as you throw that music or that song to the air or to the audience, it's not longer yours. It's their interpretation, their feeling. And there's people that I use that people that use my music to make
Your
love.
music is medicine.
My music is medicine, and also aphrodisiac, because they told me like, hey, me and my couple, we had sex with your music, and it was powerful. I think, what? I didn't thought about it. Thank you. So that's a feedback
That's some
that
good
I didn't
feedback,
expect. Yeah. So that's my intention. My intention when I do music, I try to do it like more deeply thoughts than I could possibly throw out without any rationalization. Like if I wrote a line, I don't try to follow that line. I just wrote a line and I keep till something organically comes over. So that takes a little bit longer to create a song if you do it that way, no? Because if you do it the regular way is, okay, we have the music, okay, let's put the lyrics and stuff, okay, let's take a subject. What? Love. Okay, let's use love. I used to do that with the songs, but right now I'm just going with the melody. I stay with the melody. If some thoughts came, I put it in. If it fits, perfectly. Also, when we are rehearsing, if the musician says, "Hey, I invent this part for the song," I'm not gonna decide. The song is gonna decide if your part is.
So you treat it like a living organism.
Yeah, and actually it happened. I wrote in 2012. I wrote like 2 songs. I don't know why I wrote it. It was about some situation, and then like 2 years ago, it happened to me. The song, without like a prophecy or something. I was like, what? It was inventing the future back then. I don't know.
Man.
But it happens a lot when I write something out of the blue. like, why did I wrote this? I don't know why I wrote it. Oh, I'm gonna leave it there. Then it took life with the years. It's
Wow.
weird how the writing can evolve with your songs.
So, of all your creative outlets, do you have a favorite?
I think the triangle, like I told your wife, is movies, music, and the comedy. That's the three always rebound. Each one helps. Like the comedy helps me make better songs, and when I make better songs, I create better movies or better
So they
scripts.
feed each other.
Yeah, they feed each other. They know the triangle. It's a perfect triangle.
Interesting.
Very
Did you
cool.
suffer creatively because of the pandemic?
Oh, a lot. Then I took that as a good thing, because at the beginning it was I don't want to do stand-up comedy in Zoom, which I try, but it's hard when you say the punchline and then HB fell down. Ha ha ha! 3 seconds later, the
Delay.
laugh is.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird at the beginning, but I try to accommodate with the situation. But as soon as they let people do stand-up comedy in bars, I was like, oh my god, I miss it a lot.
How often did you
The
stand-up?
last show I did was December 2019, and then the first one I did after the pandemic was this year, I think March this year.
Wow.
A complete year and something else.
Wow.
I imagine that people watching can find your shows or find your schedule on your Instagram.
Yeah, in
right?
Instagram I'm posting all. I got a next show is the 20th in Sortis Hotel, and the 21st on Tacos La Neta. I'm gonna do also a show. So
Cool.
if you wanna be part of it, it's a different show in Tacos La Neta. We're gonna make like a bingo comedy stand-up.
All right. All right.
It's a weird experiment, and along with Nicky Malara, which is another great comedian and artist. Also, he makes a lot of things with garbage, and he makes knife. He's an excellent comedian and also an artist. He's gonna be with me and Tacos La Neta on the 21st, doing the bingo comedy show.
Nice.
And on the 20th in Balabar in Sortis, also we're gonna stand up comedy with the Johan Show. And the thing is, I'm going back. That's good, because I was afraid, like, am I gonna be able to write again good comedy
Yeah.
after the pandemic? Because in the pandemic, what else can you write about? Like bad sex, divorce, not getting the shot. So it was very limited, the subjects in the pandemic. But you try the best. Sam Morrill in New York, he started doing shows in the rooftops, because that was kind of legal. That was like a loop in the law. So he did that, and I learned about new comedians also. I love to see new comedians, also women. Comedian women is something that fascinates me. Here in Panama, we have some, but I wish there were more.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Well, it's 11:57. Let's wrap this up.
Wrapping up.
You can close. These are your final statements, Fufo. What do you want to tell the fam scallions out there?
Yeah.
Oh, Fanscalio, thank you for listening first. Also, keep smiling, keep throwing away the bad thoughts. Stay with good people, with the good friends, support each other. Don't fight. It's easy to fight here in Panama. It's in the air fighting, so don't fight for anything with your wife, family, brother, anything. Don't fight. Talk about it. Go to therapy. I know people here in Panama, if you say you're in therapy, they will say you're crazy. Don't go there. You're strong. You can do it by yourself. No, you need therapy. It's good to talk with some pro about your mental issues or your physical issues. So, yeah, that's it. Stay basics. Stay balanced.
Dude, yeah.
Love it. All right, Joe. Hit us with some words of wisdom.
Man, I don't think I could have said it better than what Fufo just said, man. But I guess if I can say something that might have wisdom in it is, don't behave like the companies that excluded hemp from our lives in the 30s and 40s because they were being selfish and they took away huge opportunities for us to progress as a society. So keep an open mind, people.
Love it. Well, now it's my turn. Thank you so much, Fufo. It was great having you here. Maybe we'll have you back again when there's more updates on cannabis or when we need to have some fun with a guest. And fan scallions, remember www.panamarp.com. It's got all our social media buttons. We're on Instagram,
Twitter.
YouTube, Twitter,
Rover.
Facebook. Mars Rover tunes in. Big
That's
fan
right.
of ours.
Huge fan.
And we're thinking about maybe going on some other social medias, but you let us know.
Yeah.
And you can always DM us. Fufo's handle is at Fufo Caparo. You can see it on screen.
That's right.
And remember, every Sundays, now we're doing brunch time. There's a lot of activities going on, so make sure you check out our social medias. And we are still continuing to update our podcasts. It's been fun, but
Yes,
we're a little behind, but
Yeah.
that's okay.
But we'll get there, man.
We'll get there.
That's right.
So that's the show for today. Thanks for tuning in, guys. If you have any additional questions, please do not hesitate to let us know. And we look forward to seeing you guys again next weekend. Bye-bye.
Ciao.
J-O-E in the place to be. HB on the track, it's like ecstasy. Rolling a well of 7 years, what we drinking be. Trying to sling the dopest rhymes in the galaxy. Let me take a minute though and relax your mind. Sometimes these words can be hard to find. 24/7 on that daily grind. Hearing voices in my head, man, they not that kind. Cause bitches be bitches, snitches keep snitching. The world keeps turning, and I keep hitching a ride instead of living my life. Yo, 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 yo.
Man, when you feel hungry, don't you have to eat?
Yo, yo, pump up the volume and digest this beat.
Rap Scallions in the house with this lyrical treat.
When we're done with you, you're gonna ice your feet.
If the world ends tomorrow and you had one chance,
Hey, yo, would you start the move like it's your last dance?
yo, do something small in the past and present changes.
Do something now, the future rearranges.
Cause bitches keep bitching.
Yo, snitches keep snitching.
The world keeps turning.
And you start living your life instead of hitching a ride.